Hey ladies, I'm back again with another session showing you how to choose yourself this holiday season. I'm Latoya Deshawn, empowerment life coach to Black millennial women, helping you reclaim your power and live a life on your terms, not anybody else's terms, your terms. Get in here, right? So I know you guys are going to be visiting family members and having to deal with that, and I know that that season can be heavy for some people. It can bring up a lot with your family dynamics. Sometimes, like expectations, unresolved trauma. Sometimes you feel like when you go into your family spaces, you're sacrificing yourself just to keep the peace. But yeah, you need to protect your peace. And so I'm all about like removing yourself so you can get to know who you are and rediscover who you are, so you can go back into those spaces in a space that honors you. But if we haven't yet made that decision yet, we still need to be armed with the tools and strategies for this holiday season. Okay. And so this right here is really to hold space for you because you deserve to feel seen, supported, and, free to choose yourself over and over and over again. And so for so many of this time comes with like just a lot. I know for me, I always um, just did not enjoy the holidays. Although it was my favorite time of the year, it just wasn't my best holiday because I knew that I was going into spaces where I did not feel comfortable, where I knew I had to be subjected to like, you know how your family, they want to like make jokes and then they'd be like, oh, I'm just playing, or you're just sensitive. Meanwhile, like you're the only one being the butt of the joke. And there's an underlining like jealousy or hate there. All I can tell you is that for me, it's exhausting. I got exhausted and I just was like, I don't want to take it anymore. And that was from like cousins and, things like that. And then it trickled down to like brothers, sisters, my mom, my dad. And so, as black folks, we have cultural expectations. We're taught like to just like have strength all the time. And that's not how we feel all the time. And it's all about how much we can give instead of receiving. So a lot of times we're serving others and yet being served the least. And that's not cool. Um, we deserve to recommit to the life that we deserve. We deserve to put ourselves first. So that's the journey. And so I want you to I want to give you the permission to choose yourself. You know, uh, um, Ask yourself some questions like, what do I want? What do I need? Right. So before you go into these family space, like you might want to journal, do some self reflection, so that you can really understand how you're feeling. So you can validate yourself because nobody else can do that but you. So I encourage self reflection to do that. Like, what in this season is going to make me feel good? And so I did do that. And it was like spending time with my nieces and nephews, being able to like cook with my family members and like all these things that like I knew would make me feel good, that I wanted to make me feel good. But when I actually was self aware, I was like, I'm not feeling good. These are things that I like, but it's like I'm not feeling good about it. And so for me, I'll share a moment where I had to really choose myself around the holidays. And so 2019 was the first year where I decided not to go home, but it stemmed from an incident that happened a couple weeks early. I'm usually the sibling with my four siblings on my mom's side who's always thinking about what gift are we going to give, mom, what are we going to buy her as a group. And I wanted to buy like this ring light for my mom because she lives by herself and she's like always paranoid. She's always calling. Like it'll be something crazy. Like she'll call me for something that she needs to call the neighbor for. And a lot of times she would do this also with my sister. Not so much with my brothers because I don't think they're as reliable. But I also just my own personal reasons. Like this my mom just wanted to just be this victim, right? She wanted somebody to be there for her. And so because I knew I physically could not be there, I was like, yo, we got to get like a ring light system so that we can like watch stuff for her. Like if we need to open doors, like we just need to have that. So I get on this group call with my brothers and sisters, and what happened just very much surprised me because I'm the person in my family where I always would kind of like call out the BS. Um, and they would like it, not like it, but there's always people in your family who are gonna not call it out, but privately tell you their challenges they're having with other people as well. So I had knew that like my brothers and sisters like were getting annoyed by this as well, or else I would have never brought it up to them. And so as I'm talking about this idea, what I'm met with is being completely like gaslit. Like, she doesn't need that. What makes you think she needs that? I'm like, because she calls us all the time when she's like thinks she's dying or something like that, and we can't help her. And then she doesn't even do anything like unlock the door so that like someone can come and save her. So this could like mess up her house if something ever went wrong. We don't know. Like we just like we need to help her. And they were like, well, this is an invasion of her privacy and all of that. And I'm just thinking like, you ain't doing nothing. But also, we ain't trying to invade on that part. It's only just if we need to, but we need to have that. Like no one lives in the state except for my brother, or the city except for one of my brothers, and he ain't the dude to call. He'll need to pick up his phone. So we need another option because she keeps calling me and I'm tired. So again, no, she was calling me. So it really was my issue that I'm trying to like make like through my brothers and sisters resolve it. Stick a pin in that because I'm going to tell you what, when I really wrote it down and really became aware of what was happening, the self awareness that I needed and the accountability that I needed to take. And so, seemingly, I'm on the phone with people who are like, no, excuse me, what are you talking about? And it was just, I was exhausted. I'm like, I'm always trying to do something good. And this is how it works out. It just never works out well. And I just remember being so incredibly frustrated by this conversation because, again, I was the only one who would like really be the leader to make sure we had some. Like every year we would always have a party. This is the gift we're going to buy. Like I spearheaded that. So they wasn't. So I'm like, let's spearhead this. And I was very sad to see that like nobody really felt me on wanting to take care of mom. To the point of like, I was so upset. I was in tears. I was in tears. I just felt like nothing ever works with this family. Every time I try to do something, I'm always the one looking like I'm different or something. Like I just hated it. I just didn't have time for like it bothered me. So what I did next, which was a really great decision, but I did it out of anger. But what I did next was I remember one of my guy friends was at my house and I was like, F it. I don't care no more. I'm about to go spend my money on me. So we head to the Best Buy and I go and buy a MacBook Pro. Like I go and buy a computer right then and there, open up a Best Buy card. I buy me a computer. Cause you know what? Let me take care of myself since y'all don't want to take care of it. So I did that. I felt good about that purchase because I was like, yo, I'm ready to get my life together anyway. Like, I need a new computer to do it. Meanwhile, when I really sat in my feelings, I recognized that the reason why I felt bad or I was struggling about it was because deep down in my heart, if I'm being honest, I really did not like the fact that I couldn't afford to do this for my mom on my own. Right? I did not have the money to do it on my own. I needed their help. Yeah. Doesn't negate what happened in that conversation, but the emotional reaction came from me not being able to do this on my own. And so I had to accept it. But it was a game changer in how I acted because this was somewhere in November. And so because I just was having contention with my family, I said, you know what? I'm not going to go home this year. I'm going to actually just stay home. I don't want to deal. It's too much. Um, And then I remember going home, staying in LA and I think I made short ribs that year. It was such a good meal with like homemade mashed potatoes and like all the things. And I remember my sister called me. This is really important, guys. She called me and she said, hey, like, just seeing how I'm doing, calling Thanksgiving. How are you doing? I'm sitting in my bed watching football. Anybody knows I like football. I think I had some wine and I had my food in the oven. Like life is good over here. And then she calls and she says, "How are you?" I don't remember the exact conversation of what we were talking about, but whatever I was expressing, I will never forget her saying, "Oh, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that." That was such a pivotal moment for me because in that moment I said, I didn't say it to her. My sister's older than me, so I'm also Midwest bred. I'm going to show respect for my sister all the time. But in my mind, I was just like, "What? Why did you call? If you didn't want to hear what I had to say, why did you call?" And it was such a moment to realize, like, has this always been happening? Am I just now just noticing it? Like, what's going on? And so that was a moment where I was just like, I don't have to, like, I'm protecting my peace and you're still calling me and you're seemingly not even interested in what I have to say. I would travel down a road of personal growth to realize, like, I've always dealt with these difficult dynamics. I'm tired of it. Don't call me if you don't really want to be, hear what I have to say or see how I'm doing. Right? You don't know what I'm going to say on the other end of how are you doing. But it was obvious you just was calling to check off a box to say that that's what you did. It was a big significant change in my relationship with my siblings after that. And I will go on to, I think we're on year 4 where I have not spoken to my sister. And that's a whole another different story that I'll share later. But just I had to finally just realize, like, I'm not crazy. I don't like this, and I don't have to be around. So what I was doing was setting boundaries, and I didn't even know how to articulate that then. But I was setting boundaries, and like I'm not gonna go home for the holidays because it drains me. So my boundary was like, if certain gatherings drain me, it's okay to say no. I'm not gonna do it. And for you guys who are choosing to go around your family, it's okay to set a time limit to be around these folks also. Like you are not obligated to have to be around just because. I want to empower you. You do not have to be around family members just because. It is not necessary. It's awesome, but it is not necessary, especially if they are exhausting and they are draining. Choose yourself every time. Hmm. What is the impact of you choosing yourself? You might walk away feeling judged by family members, misunderstood, and you know what? Even abandoned. That's probably going to happen because now you're going to see that when you choose yourself, it doesn't fit in line with how they want to treat you. And so some folks will abandon you and you want them to. Let me tell you, there is support waiting for you on the other side. You do not have to deal with that, right? Be obedient to what God wants for you. And then when you choose yourself, you teach other people how to treat you. And so a lot of times you guys are stepping into spaces because there's a reason why, right? For me, it was like, oh, I want to be around my nieces and nephews. So that was my reason why I was enduring such horrible treatment. But you got to know, like, you have to step into a life that you truly want. You have to operate in a certain level of self-worth and confidence to be able to now instill that into the next generation or the people that you want to like sort of look up to you. You cannot pass you in this process. God is not going to let you pass you. That is the thing here. God says, I love you too much. And you know, if you're a black woman, you are abandoning yourself. You're suppressing how you feel. You're like, oh, it doesn't matter. You think that you can still go help the next person without you being helped first. That's not going to happen. You matter. God knows you matter, and He's not going to leave you on this journey. So you really got to get right with yourself first so that you can go and do the very thing that you want to do, your reason why. And that could be, and in that, that's living a more deeply fulfilling life, a life that's on your own terms. You can do this better. Whoo, that's a lot. And so what I tapped into after that conversation is really just understanding what brings me happiness. Because that following Christmas, I also didn't go home. But it was the first year that I had my own gathering at my own house for Christmas. And I ended up having a brunch. And it was so nice. I did my like shrimp and grits. I had smothered pork chops, rice, okay, eggs, like country potatoes, pancakes. I hooked it up. I had about 10 people come. It was so nice. We had drinks galore. We played games and just was around each other. And like, I really enjoyed that day. I think by 5 o'clock p.m., I was in bed because I had entertained because we had, it was an earlier event. And I was so satisfied. I was so content. And so I'm just like, look, I'm going to keep on doing this. And so that's what I continued to do before I started to go out of the country. Because then we went to that, right? When we talk about living a life true to your purpose, uh, your purpose, like what I really wanted to do was not be in America during the holidays, and so that's what's happening. Um, and then also, I would say, so you want to set boundaries. You want to create a space for your joy by asking you what brings you happiness, and then you want to also lean into support. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You think that you don't have anybody on the other side of you choosing yourself. But I'm going to tell you that's a lie from the pit of hell. Yes, you do. There are people waiting to support you, that love you, that want you to operate in your authenticity. They want that. They're ready. You just have to be okay that it's going to be those certain people that are not going to be that for you. A lot of times we say, oh, all these people don't like me, or all these people I'm having problems with. It's not all people, it's certain people. And we need to identify those certain people who make you not feel good about yourself. And then we need to find those people who do make us feel good and go in that direction. And sometimes it's not going to be people. Sometimes it might be things like your Instagram, what you're watching, your YouTube, what you're looking at. It's going to be all those things. And you're going to have to know that there is support on the other side of you choosing yourself. You don't have to keep sacrificing your wants, your desires to please other folks who don't really care. Sorry to say, they don't care. They don't care about you more than they care about themselves. You deserve a life on your own terms, not just during the holiday, but like every single day. I'm taking a breath right now because I know um, I talk this talk, but it's not easy. It's a lot of emotion you feel in here. It's a lot of guessing yourself. Um, but you gotta trust yourself. You gotta trust that the life that you want is available for you. You don't have to keep sacrificing. You don't have to settle it. This is not the life for me. That is not your ministry. And so I really hope that you take a moment to choose one small way you're going to prioritize yourself this holiday. Set yourself up for success. And if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. I get you. I can hold that space for you. I understand. I'm here for your success, for your best life. And so if you need that support, just reach out to me and let me know how I can support you. You got this. Know that I'm rooting for you. There are other women out here rooting for you. Okay. I work with other women. They are making those choices themselves. They are choosing themselves. They are moving through discomfort. They are being reflective. They are choosing joy. I know a little something about this life. Let me help you get to the other side. That's all I really wanted to say. Didn't want to be here long. Just wanted to affirm you, to say, I see you. I understand you. I know what you're about to walk into. You are stronger than you know. You enjoy yourself this holiday. Set boundaries. Set a time to leave and set some time for yourself. Happy holidays. I'll see you in the next video.